What's up guys, Dr. Jared here, and these are 9 of the best exercises to strengthen your core. Now when a lot of us think of core strengthening, our mind goes to that strong six-pack stomach. And yeah, that's an important muscle to strengthen, but that doesn't make up the complete picture. You must think of your core three-dimensionally and increase strength in all of those areas. That includes the stomach, the sides, as well as the lower back. I even take things one step further with patients and clients that I work with and say, let's strengthen the muscles in the front, sides, and back of your hips as well to provide a strong foundation for that core to function on top of. And so that's exactly what I want to give you in this video. I'm going to show you 3 exercises for each of the front, side, and back of your core and hips. What I want you to do is pick the exercise that's most suited to your current strength and ability level and perform that daily. Then I would encourage you to challenge yourself to progress to some of those higher level exercises as your strength increases. I hope this video helps you out. I hope this helps you to achieve that goal of increased core strength. That being said, first exercise is coming your way right now. Let's get started right here in the front. This first progression is going to be for your abs and hip flexors. Your phase 1 exercise is going to be a posterior pelvic tilt with a march. Lay down on your back with your knees bent. Now the posterior pelvic tilt, the first contraction that I want you to do is try to flatten your back down into the floor. When you lay down, you might have a big arch in your lower back. The posterior pelvic tilt is going to engage your lower ab muscles to tilt your pelvis backwards to flatten your back down into the floor. Now what I want you to do is brace your stomach, so a nice stomach contraction. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Pretend like someone's maybe going to punch you in the stomach. That's the brace that I want right down here in your abs. You're going to hold that posterior pelvic tilt and that brace, and then what you want to do is just lift one leg up to the ceiling and then the other leg, just like that. And then we're going to continue with that march. One leg and then the other leg. Sometimes if it's hard to hold it, I'll have people reset between each one of those marches. So again, we're going to flatten our back, we're going to tighten up our tummy, draw our belly button in towards our spine, and then hold that contraction, hold your back flat as I march left, march right, and then continue. 3 sets of 10 repetitions on each leg. So 10 marches on the left, 10 marches on the right, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times. That's again kind of your phase 1 exercise. To take this a step further, if you're ready for phase 2, let's progress it into a dying bug exercise. The setup is still the same. I want you to tilt your hips backwards. I want you to contract your abs. But now we're going to bring both of our knees up into this position. I've got a 90-degree bend at my hips, and I've got a 90-degree bend at my knees. My arms also reach up towards the ceiling just like this. Hold that contraction in your stomach as you slowly lower your left leg down towards the ground and your right arm up and overhead, and then return back to that neutral position. And then we're going to repeat on the other side. So now lowering my right leg down towards the floor and my left hand down towards the floor, and then return back to that starting position again. Once again, your emphasis here isn't simply going through the motions. Your emphasis is keeping your core engaged. Keep that core nice and contracted, nice and tight while you're performing this exercise. Once again, about 3 sets of 10 on each side is a good number to shoot for. Finally, once that one gets easy, the last progression that I like to take people into is a plank exercise. We're going to apply those things that we've learned on phase 1 and 2. Let's roll over and let's make it more of an anti-gravity exercise. Plank is a great way to do that. And so you're down on your elbows, and then what we're going to do is pop up onto our toes, but I don't want it to be relaxed and lazy. You'll see I've got a big arch in my back right now. What I want you to do is the same thing. We're going to engage the core. We're going to pull the hips into a posterior pelvic tilt rotation. We're going to flatten your back out, and you're going to feel that a lot more in your core muscles. Now try to draw your belly button up and in towards your spine for that final contraction, and then that is the plank that I want you to hold. You should be able to hold this for about 30 seconds. I usually try to encourage people, I progress people up to 60 seconds. 3 times 60 seconds is a great number to shoot for. Next, let's roll over onto our side. This is the progression of exercises that I like for your obliques and your hip abductors. The first place that I like to start is right here with some hip abduction. I'm laying down on my left side, my left leg is bent, my right hip is stacked right on top of my left hip. Don't let it roll back. That's kind of the tendency that people let that roll back. Keep it stacked right on top of your left hip. Now what I want you to do is engage the muscles right here on the lateral side of your hip to raise your heel up towards the ceiling. The other thing that I see people do a lot is they'll lead with their toe up towards the ceiling. That engages the hip flexors more than the abductors. Try to lead with that heel as we go up towards the ceiling. Bonus, if you can actually contract your abs here as well. Keep that belly button drawn in towards your spine while you're performing this hip abduction exercise. 3 sets of 10, so I do 10 of these lifts on the right, roll over and do 10 on the left, and then repeat that 3 times. Phase 2 would be we'd pop up into, again, an anti-gravity exercise with a side plank. And so now I'm on my left elbow, my left leg is out straight, and I'm going to engage the muscles right here on my lateral core and in my lateral hip to hold myself up in this side plank position. Once again, pull that belly button up and in towards your spine and try to hold that while you're holding this side plank position. 30 seconds is a great number to shoot for. When that gets easy, try to increase that even up to 45 and up to 60 seconds, and then repeat that 3 times on each side. Phase 3, or the last progression that I like to take people into, would be a combination of those 2 things. We're gonna do a side plank with the hip abduction. So you're gonna raise up into the side plank, hold that nice and firm. Now I'm just going to lift my right leg up off of my left and then return it back down into that starting position. This is a great exercise. You're definitely gonna feel this in the down leg and in the down, so the downside, so my left hip and in my left obliques right now. But then we also kick on the right obliques, makes it even harder for the left as well. This is a killer exercise for that entire lateral pillar. So your obliques all the way down through your hip abductors. 10 sets on the left, or excuse me, 10 reps on the left, 10 reps on the right, and then try to repeat that one 3 times. Finally, this last progression is for your lower back and glutes. These are 2 muscle groups that love to work together, and honestly, we just don't work them enough. Here's the progression that I like to take patients through. Let's get some glute bridges first. You're gonna lay down on your back with your knees bent. Now in this position, what I want you to do is contract your glutes. So you're gonna squeeze your butt and then use that to lift your hips up off of the floor. Hold 1, 2, 3, and then slowly return right back down to that starting position. So again, we're engaging the glutes. That's what's initiating the lift. But up at the top, you're gonna feel that in your lower back muscles as you extend through your lower back as well. About 10 repetitions on this, repeated 3 times, is a good number to shoot for. When that becomes easy, phase 2 becomes a single leg bridge and looks just like this. Setup's still the same, but now I'm just going to extend one leg out. So now my right leg's bent, my left leg is extended out straight. I'm gonna squeeze the glute on this right side and then use that to lift my hip up towards the ceiling and then return right back down to that starting position. So up, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, and then come down, 1, 2, 3. So a nice good tempo, nice good contraction. What I recommend is that you do that 10 times on the right, 10 times on the left, and then you're gonna repeat that 3 times. The last exercise, or the last progression that I like to take people through for your lower back and glutes would be a swimmer exercise. This is what it looks like right here. You're gonna lay down on your stomach with your arms stretched out over your head. Now in this position, I'm going to contract my right glute to lift my entire right leg up off of the floor while I lift my opposite arm. So I'm gonna lift my left arm up off of the floor. Hold 1, 2, 3, and then come right back down. And then we're gonna repeat on the other side. So contract the left glute to lift the left leg up off of the floor. Right arm comes up off the floor, hold 1, 2, 3, and then come right back down. And so that's what it looks like right there. This is just a great way that we can really isolate the glutes. We can really contract those muscles in the lower back. 10 repetitions, so I do 10 on each arm or 10 on each leg, however it is that you want to count it. And then I would try to repeat that 3 times. Now, if you're interested in more great core exercises, more great core videos, I've got you covered right here on Tone and Tighten. Check this one out. This is really gonna help you as well. For some reason, YouTube thinks that you might be interested in this video, so check that one out, see if YouTube's right. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten, hit the circle right here to do that. I would love to see you back for future videos. Until next time, we'll see you again soon.